Okay, algebraic relation. So this basically, what is this algebraic relation in the sense? So before going for the fault simulation, so as we have been discussing with the test vectors, on generating of any test vector patterns, we have to identify what is the particularly fault identified within the circuit. Okay, we have to detect the particular fault within the circuit. So to define that particular fault, we should have some mechanism. Okay, we should use, we will be identifying, we will be determining with some mechanism. So what is that mechanism? In the sense, we come out with the concept through the Boolean difference of the function will be defining what is the test vector generation. But here in the algebraic relations also, we have a different types of algebraic functions. So within of these algebraic functions, we'll be using mostly with the Boolean difference relations itself. Okay, Boolean difference relations relation itself. So here we'll be discussing with one of the case, Shannon's expansion theorem. Okay, with the relation of Shannon's expansion theorem. So we'll be identifying that. So if I have a function with f with the inputs of x1, x2, x3, and so on, xn. Okay, so that is what with the same example. If I have a function with the inputs of x1, x2, and so on up to xn. Okay, xn. So for the n number of inputs, we'll be getting output is said to be as x1 a function of 1 comma x2 x3 and so on x1. So what does this determine? In the sense, we are going to apply through the input of x1. Okay, through the input, if the input x1 is said to be equivalent to 1. Okay, if the case x1 equals to 1, then I have taken with the function notation of x1. Okay, x1 dot x1 bar, sorry, not a bar, x1 dot function of 1 comma x2 comma x3 comma and so on xn. Okay, plus x bar x1 bar f of 0 comma x2 comma x3 comma and so on xn. That is what, if x equals to 1, x bar will be denoted as an 0. Okay, so this is the normal determination of the input, and this is said to be the complement determination of the input. So that is what, if I have a n number of input, the function expansion, the Shannon's expansion theorem will be representing that the function will be determining with, if n inputs are there, that is going to define with an XOR operation of the function with orthogonal relation. Okay, function with orthogonal relation. So this will be represented here with, if x1 is treated, I have taken with the x1 is said to be the input with equivalent to 1 and denoted with the inputs, plus the complement term of the x1 input and denoted the inputs. If it is of x2, for example, if I have taken x2 equivalent to 1, then I'll be noting this x2 f of x1 comma x2 with some 1, x3 and so on xn, plus x2 bar f of x1 comma 0 comma x3 and so on xn. So what does this determines? In the sense, the XOR operation of of the input function should be orthogonal and must be equivalent, must be evaluated to 1. So that should be determined here. The function should be orthogonal and must be evaluated to 1 itself. Okay, so within of this, the Boolean difference relation. Okay, what does the Boolean difference will be representing? In the sense that represents the partial derivative relation. Okay, partial derivative relation. That is what within the algebraic itself. So this is a basic algebraic relation what we notate, but based on the Boolean difference notation will be representing through the partial derivative relations itself. Okay, so how the partial derivative is denoted? In the sense, differential term with fj by dou x1 equivalent to f3 of 1 comma x2 fj of 1 comma x2 comma x3 and so on xn, XOR operation with fj 0 comma x2 comma and so on xn. So that is what I have taken here with the x1 is the input term we have taken. Okay, and fj in the sense a function which is to be derived. Okay, the function which is to be derived within the relation. So fj of 1 comma x2 and so on XOR operation with fj 0, x1, so on with the xn. So for this Boolean difference, so to identify the vector within that Boolean difference, okay, how to identify the test vector? Okay, how do determine the test vector from this Boolean difference? So that we have come out with the two cases. Okay, first case one comes out with we know basically the faulty is said to be xi. If the xi in the sense if I have taken x1 is the input equals to 1, that I'll be taken stuck at 1 or stuck at 0, for example, based on the faulty. Okay, if x2 is said to be the faulty, for example, then the relation will be dou f by dou x2 is said to be the faulty, so x2 I'll be taking. So which is said to be the faulty, that is going to be represented here. If the faulty is stuck at 0, so that the fault should be excited. So that is what if the fault we have taken with the stuck at 0 case. Okay, so that should be representing with the value applied at the input variable xi is based on the reverse logic input. So that is what, for example, if this is stuck at 0, okay, if this is stuck at 0, to determine the Boolean algebraic function, so what you'll do, you'll be applying a reverse logic. If it is stuck at 0, you'll be applying a 1 here. If this is 1, you'll be justifying what is the input then. So to get the output 1, what will happen, you'll be giving an input is 1 1, so that you'll be getting a 1. Okay, so when I have a case of stuck at 0, I'll be applying within reverse logic with 1 input, and this 1 will be justified based on the input vector itself. Okay, so that is the case. The value applied at the input variable xi is based on the reverse logic input, so that xi equals to 1. Okay, so that the Boolean difference must be evaluated to 1, so that it should be determined towards the evaluation to be done towards the dou f by dou xi equivalent to 1. Okay, so what it defines this case in the sense, it gives a test vector which is stuck at 0. Okay, that is what it gives a 1. That's what I said. If this is stuck at 0, we are going to apply a reverse logic. The reverse logic in the sense, we are defined within 1 here. If it is 1, we have to find out what is the input. So the input will be determined based on the 1 1 logic. You will be getting a 1 here. So that is defined. The evaluation should be done towards a 1 here. So this function is defined with this case. So first case, that is what. And now second case comes out with the, if the faulty is stuck at 1 now. Okay, if the faulty is said to be stuck at 1. So here also what happened, you'll be coming out with the reverse logic again. So if the faulty is said to be stuck at 1, you'll be applying a 0 over there. Okay, that is what the reverse logic. The input will be 0 will be applied at the xi input. So that what happened, the dou f by dou xi is must be evaluated to 1. Okay, it must be evaluated to 1, so that it gives a test vector for stuck at 1 case. So that is what, if it is stuck at 1, it should be applied with a 0 and must be evaluated what is the functional output at the 1. Why? Because functional output 1 in the sense, it has to identify the circuit is said to be the faulty case. Okay, faulty case. So that's the second case what we define here. When the stuck at 0 or stuck at 1 is there, the reverse logic will be applied as 0 and will be evaluating towards a 1. Okay, so evaluation also will be representing based on the xi bar. Okay, complement of xi bar dou f by dou xi equivalent to 1. So what is the disadvantage within the Boolean algebraic function in the sense? So when you go on with the big circuit or large circuit, that is large combinational circuit, so in that cases we'll be having a more time taking process, and the Boolean identification of the test faulties will be taken a more time to define the faulty cases. Okay, so that is what, and also to manipulate the data. Okay, manipulate the faulties and manipulate the Boolean algebraics will be that may not be much easy. Okay, so that's the main disadvantage what we feel.